Star Spangled Banner as you've never heard it. What the hell does that mean?
I guess the word, we really didn't know the words, so I guess they don't really unpack the lyrics here. Like, what it mean?
This about a whole 11 minutes. Unpacking the lyrics 11 minutes?
That's cool. This not like an Eminem. We gotta unpack these lyrics.
Y'all give me like a few sentences of the Star Spangled?
It's the national anthem.
Oh, say, can
that's...
you see?
I thought, okay, so what was that other one then?
Gosh.
What was the other one we said that was different?
God bless America, was it?
That's what Babyface song.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Oh my God.
Of America.
Okay, no.
It was some other song, America song.
Yeah, what was it, bro?
I can't remember.
It was God Bless America. That's one Babyface song.
It
Then
might-
There was
yeah.
one more too that we was talking about.
Nah, I think that was...
they got the Black
Because it was the
National
one Chris Stapleton did, which he did this one, the Star Spangled Banner, and then it was the Babyface Ray did one.
Yeah, I know.
So what was the Babyface Ray one called?
I think it was.
I thought that was
America,
good.
but I don't know if it was. It might have been a different one.
He used to have to stand up every morning at 7 o'clock. I pledge allegiance to the flag
The
for the
United
United
States.
States of America.
Do you think we've been bodied?
Yeah.
Did y'all used to have to sing the state song at your school?
Hell.
I used to sing that at my elementary
I
school.
ain't gonna lie.
America the Beautiful.
America the Beautiful. That's
Yeah.
what it
Man,
Y'all had to sing that?
It sure smells sweet. Yeah.
You know the state song go home?
They used to have to sing it every day.
Hey man, let them know how it go, bro. How it go.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes, we get down the plane.
I ain't never had to do that.
I ain't gonna lie, when I
I know
was in
the song
Michigan,
too, y'all.
they told me I think the Black National Anthem was
It's
called.
a black national
Detroit.
anthem.
Yeah.
No,
Ponies and blunts.
it was like it's a song.
It's a
song.
black national anthem,
It
bro.
was like a song, bro. It was
It's not
making
even just a pure
No
song.
time.
This
Was it the Ford? Was it the Ford
It was
song?
a pure song, and then
Don't
they
they
told
make
us
no-
it's
it
the
was-
national anthem.
It wasn't no pure song. It was
Look it up,
a-
bro. Look it up.
It was like I gotta think about
They showed
it.
y'all the R. Kelly
You ever
one.
heard that song? It's so cold in the deep. Ty, you know it. Yeah. When a nigga trying to get some sleep.
Oh, okay, lift every voice.
Oh, I heard that.
Sing. Yeah, that one. Y'all ain't heard that?
Yeah, that's the Black National Anthem.
I've never heard of
Lift
that.
every voice and sing till something heaven.
I don't know that.
I have never heard that in my life.
It's
bro.
this, bro.
I thought that National Anthem was before Let You Go by Frank Beverly Mays.
I used to have to sing this in the national anthem.
In school?
Yes, this one I was in Michigan.
Dang.
That is insane.
This one I went to an all black school.
They had just sing Weed in the Wall.
Yeah. I was at a band school.
You wrong.
God's gonna trouble.
Alright, man, let's go ahead and get to this.
Yeah, lift every voice, man.
Alright, guys. Let's unpack this and see what they have, what knowledge they have for us.
The suspense is killing me.
There was a lawyer once. His name was Francis Scott Key.
I heard that name.
He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the National Anthem. It is our song as an American.
That's an American.
We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain.
It's very educational.
Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners on both sides. The American colonies had prisoners and the British had prisoners. And the American government initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release of these prisoners. They said, we want to send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man by the name of Francis Scott Key. He will come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day, in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British officials. And they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis. Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity, men. And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free. He said, tonight I have negotiated successfully your return to the colonies. He said, you'll be taken out of this boat, out of this filth, out of your chains. As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and said, we have a slight problem.
There's an elephant in the room, guys.
He said, we will still honor our...
Somebody gonna say the elephant? Brandon?
Imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if the skin was reversed. They said, boys, you're going to work.
You got black presidents? Keep them!
Well, they talking like they trying to keep him though.
As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, we have a slight problem. He said, we will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter. And Francis Scott Key said, what do you mean? He said, well, Mr. Key, he said, tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies. Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry? He said, we're going to remove it from the face of the earth. He said, how are you going to do that?
Y'all want smoke?
He said, if you will, scan the horizon of the sea. And as he looked, he could see hundreds of little dots.
This actually happened like this.
And he said, that's the entire British war fleet. He said, all of the gunpowder, all of the armament is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said, the war's over, these men would be free anyway. He said, you can't shell that fort. He said, that's a large fort. He said, it's full of women and children. He says, it's predominantly not a military fort.
Now, hold on, man.
They said, don't worry about it.
Is that a real photo?
They said, we've left them a way out. And he said, what's that?
Say.
He said, do you see that flag way up on the rampart? He said, we have told them that if they will lower that flag, the shelling will stop immediately. And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule. Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen.
Y'all finna have to slaughter some shit.
And they said, how many ships? He said, hundreds.
Murder gang.
The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key went back up on top and he said, men, I'll shout down to you what's going on as we watch. As twilight began to fall, and as the haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset, suddenly the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs. He said it was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit. And he says from down below, all he could hear the men, the prisoners, saying was, tell us where the flag is. What have they done with the flag? Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us.
That's what
Because
they
if the
said.
flag low, that means they gonna be stuck
1
in
hour,
prison.
2 hours, 3 hours into the
British gonna take
shelling.
over. That's the sign of
they-
surrender.
yeah.
Every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb, and Francis Scott Key would report down to the men below, it's still up. It's not down. The admiral came and he said, your people are insane. He said, what's the matter with them? He said, don't they understand this is an impossible situation?
They're Americans.
Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said the thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees.
Murder. That's what George White said.
The admiral said, we have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down. He said, we don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that. But he said, now we're about to bring every gun for the next 3 hours.
This is so like dramatic.
Bro,
like,
they
I'm like,
probably got it out of a
this
book,
actually
bro. They
happened?
probably got it out of a book.
Yeah. I think this guy,
I'm just like listening to this,
That's
like,
the way he
what?
told
This
the story.
Hollywood ass fantasy fairy tale ass
Bro,
shit.
they had to
Finding
get
it
out
out.
of history.
Now,
book,
if it
bro.
really happened,
I think it did.
That's crazy.
I think it did.
This
The
is a
way he
crazy
told
story.
it.
But the way he's telling it, they ass. Where's the flag?
Yeah, I mean,
Them niggas want to go home, man.
It's a flag still up. Don't drop it.
Well, no, if the flag is down, they don't have their freedom no more.
they stuck.
They don't have their freedom right there. They're in chains, in boats, in cages.
But the Americans trying to save them.
Yeah, they trying to.
Okay, and if America's blown to smithereens, where they gonna go? Why they worry about the
They
flag?
they going overseas to them other little island up there in the Europe.
I don't know, man. It's
In
just,
Europe.
it's just
And the guy
very,
was
it's
like,
very,
yeah, in that moment, I
It's
remember
very
what George Washington
it's
told
a
me.
very dramatic story.
Yeah, it
The
is.
American
That
Christian
just makes
is
me
unlike
very
any other.
But I think he got it out of a book. So I'm not calling cap on this. I believe it. I believe
calling
it.
cap on this.
Well, let's let him finish it. Let
But
him
it sounds
finish
like all of our old school stories.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to-
You know what I'm saying? We
I
put a little
hated
shit on
history class. I used to go to sleep.
I ain't gonna lie, history was my favorite class.
No
Me too.
cap.
For
It
sure.
was.
I love when we were talking about the
What was
World
the
War
first thing you
II.
learned about in history?
Texas history is pretty good, man. I would say the Alamo and all that. That was great.
Okay, state history.
The battle with
What about
Mexico.
American history?
I like when the recession happened, the Great Depression, and then a lot of
But look,
shit happened
let's let
like
him finish,
war.
man.
The
Let's
Dust Bowl
let's
hit
look at this with an
Oklahoma.
open mind, fellas.
It was terrible. This is the story of patriotism.
But he said, now we're about to bring every gun for the next 3 hours to bear on that point. Francis Scott Key said the barrage was unmerciful. All that he could hear was the men down below praying. The prayer. God, keep that flag flying where we last saw it. Sunrise came. He said there was a heavy mist hanging over the land, but the rampart was tall enough. There stood the flag, completely nondescript, in shreds. The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top. Francis Scott Key went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he'd found had happened was that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits. And when hit had fallen, but men, fathers, who knew what it meant for that flag to be on the ground, although knowing that all of the British guns were trained on it, walked over and held it up humanly until they died. Their bodies were removed and others took their place. Francis Scott Key said what held that flagpole in place at that unusual angle were patriots' bodies. He penned the song, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. Or the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet fly and wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid.
God, this Amir.
Man, that's so
It's so deep, though. God, leave.
fucking crazy stuff.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallant
My brain thinks of this song and
For the land of the free
Time for the coin, something.
and the home of the brave.
Good old American football in God's country.
Blessed is the nation of God is the Lord.
That's a great example. They said, what's the greatest sport? The sport that makes you think of that song.
Football.
Well, parts of
American football. That's the most American
So
sport there
it's
is.
Parts of touch. Hot dogs, hamburger.
All what?
Beers.
So it was just giving. So you mean so this song is based on the story of a guy who was there.
What was his name again? Lockett
Key?
Lockett Key?
Francis Scott Key.
Francis Scott Key.
Francis.
According to his story.
He was.
Yes.
He was a.
But I mean,
He might have put
that's
he might have
history.
put all his.
That's history.
He might have put just a little
History,
something. Just a little shit on the
There's a
story.
picture of George
History.
Washington
History.
and his subordinates crossing a boat on ice. They didn't do that shit in real life.
Yeah.
You know, I always had a look, yeah.
It's a little song. It's like, yeah, I heard him now and then praying.
But they definitely, I mean, bro, how else? He definitely made that song.
Oh, 100%. I ain't saying he didn't make the song.
For sure.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm saying the song based on a story.
Yeah, it gotta match.
But it does. That's what I'm saying. It has to be true because he
So
wrote that song.
why we just let them dump on us and we didn't do nothing back?
Dump on who?
They was shooting up on the colonists.
Yeah,
Oh,
they shoot
that
back.
was the British. That was the British,
That's why
right?
I think we won. That's why they said the
They
flag.
did one. That's
shit.
why we here. That was the
Yeah.
British, right?
Yeah.
When in that story did we fight back?
He didn't
Bro,
say that part.
I was about to say because they
I thought they was fighting the
he
whole
said
time.
no,
It
we
was
was
a
getting
war.
shot at and just burned the blunt of the shots.
Oh yeah.
And then they had prisoners on the
But he
boat.
said they woke up and the flag was still. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said
After
they had
they
their
ran
own
the
prisoners
bullets.
though too of the British. Remember, and they was
Yeah.
gonna trade, so that means that they had prisoners and they had to have been
Well,
fighting.
I hope they executed them.
Yeah, that is wild though. I mean,
He
'cause
said-
he said it was thousands of ships coming. How the hell y'all survived it?
Y'all see them
He said
shirts
we
that say
just got shot
America
up.
back to back world
But he
champs.
said they came up.
Yeah.
He said they came up from under maybe
Does
something.
America
And
have
he
the
said
He
it
said they was
was.
2 hours away, so we watched them
Thank you,
sail
man.
up and dump on
They
us.
lose.
And we just stood tall through getting blasted.
Yeah.
That's basically how I interpreted the story.
I thought it was a war going on.
See, but
But he said it was Patriots out
I
there
think-
fighting.
I
He
think
said he
he-
had
yeah.
had the guns, and then he said they
I think the soldiers
They all
was fighting,
died?
and he was talking about like the American people who was doing that with the flag. That was
Oh,
being attacked. Wow, the soldiers was
because
fighting.
he said the Patriots died by the flag or something.
yeah,
like
they
that?
said that
Yeah.
they was taking the brunt of the shots, and men was holding the flag up, dying, and they was dragging their bodies off, and other men was coming out there and dying.
That's pretty
Dang,
wild.
so
Is
you
that
didn't
not what he
say
said?
That makes
Hey,
sense. Don't
honestly,
play with that flag, bro.
we
That's
gotta-
pretty deep.
That's what he said.
That's how I
Pretty deep,
interpreted it. I
So
couldn't be
you
wrong.
basically, if you playing with that flag, you shitting on all them that died for this land.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from this. Real
Can't give up. You
gangsters.
can't give up your flag.
Now that is gangster.
Real patriots. What's the word you're looking for?
But I mean,
Patriots.
don't you? If you look at a British flag, it's kind of the same thing. Besides, theirs is like
Theirs is
this.
different.
But
Yeah.
ours is some.
There's
one
just some
pocket.
crossbar bullshit.
Yeah, they
And
shit
we
like
got
that.
broad stripes, blue, red,
Stars,
blue
it's
stripes,
the
stars.
same shit. Though. It's the same shit.
When you look
No,
at
it's
that,
like the
if you
Republic.
represent that American flag and you ain't a patriot, you get your damn ass up out of here. That's what I got to say.
Bro. It's just
We
different.
can have guns here. You can have guns there. They have their
Damn
stabbed.
alien.
Yeah.
America, somebody try to stab you legally, you can blow their damn head off.
Yeah.
America.
And now we're probably.
Imagine if we would have surrendered right there and
think
British
about
would
this,
have took
though.
over. We'd have been all had British accents right now.
Country.
Who do y'all?
And we
What,
had fucked up donkey teeth, and they be all yellow.
what countries were
What's like
established back then?
Sparks?
Established.
Established.
Great Britain.
France.
Great Britain had
Spain,
the
They got a king and a
they had a-
queen.
you like
I imagine if we got conquered by people who still got a king and a queen.
Rome,
Yeah.
We'd be
Italy.
some hoes.
There's some shit. Africa, I mean, they for sure
a
probably.
lot of Africa was ruled
What about
by
the British?
Yeah, that's why there's white people in South Africa. Them Britons, boy, they
They
greedy.
was getting right.
They fucked up teeth.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You
That's
know
a
we
good
got
question.
Louisiana from the French.
How did we? I
Yeah.
wonder if we
Louisiana Purchase.
were one of the
Finesse.
last establishments.
Biggest finesse
How did we
in
get
history.
so damn big? How are we the most powerful army in the
Well,
world?
the
now?
Louisiana
It's
Purchase,
been
bro. I'm
trillions
telling you,
of
bro, we got
dollars.
that thing. We got that Louisiana
Well, it's a
Purchase.
bigger mass of land and more people, you know.
And we got the greatest people.
The story of this nation is the greatest thing ever
God's
told.
people. Not
Yeah.
the Israelites, well, you know. But this is God's country.
Yeah, man.
Damn right it is.
I understand a lot of knowledge from that. I can't lie.
Yeah, that was very, very,
that was
very,
very
educational.
informational.
Yeah, made me look at the song a lot differently.
Yeah, dude.
I would like
a
to
lot
fact check
there,
some of that story, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we can definitely fact check it for us and let us know.
I thought it was a very patriotic
But yeah, I
story.
mean-
Great story.
Dude, it's like,
Best
please,
Patriots
Lord.
I ever seen.
It's like,
Just
please,
Tom
let the
Brady.
flag be up when I wake up. Sleep.
Maybe it had to
Are
be
we
the book. And then the Bible was so far, and we still got that information.
You know what I'm saying?
So
That's how somebody wrote.
So I believe this information, man. I don't know. Y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Yeah, guys, we got a lot of info from this. We go. Let us know some more informational videos. We out of here.
Stay in school.